adverts for everything and sponsors and stuff like that. So it's instead of paying for premium, you can just use this YouTube.
I wonder if there was an app to do it, because I use the browser.
SmartTube. I use SmartTube on TV. So you can put a SmartTube app, you can download that, run that on your TV. That gets rid of everything. And this one, I can't remember what it's called though, but.
So I don't get ads generally anyway, because I use.
You seem to be live.
I use the browser that blocks them.
That's live. That's us now. I think we're live. I don't know.
Yeah, we are.
Oh, right.
Oh.
Hey, everyone.
Oh, we are live. We are live. We are live. We'll be back in a second. Hello, welcome to Recentered, episode 48. We're all live here in the same room around my house in the garage. We didn't decide who was hosting, but I've just done it, haven't I?
Yeah,
So,
go for it.
yeah.
Go for
This
it.
is a surprise, by the way. Surprise!
This is, so this is my garage. Everybody's come around to try the Pimax Crystal Sea Park, so we'll have some impressions on that. We've not got a lot else planned, though, so this is going to be a casual chat and a casual podcast, as you might have guessed, because accidentally we're streaming as we were.
Yeah, if anyone heard any mention of YouTube, I always recommend that you do pay for premium. Do not use any third-party apps that maybe take things away.
Well, I do pay for premium.
But there you go.
There we go.
There you go.
So we're going to go through some Pimax Crystal Super impressions first. We've not got any video for that, so we'll just be on camera for that anyway. But you came around early today, both of you, and gave it a go. Came around last time to try the original Crystal as well.
2 years ago, pretty much to the week.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Also, before we get into it, just let us know if audio is okay, if there's any problems with
Can
audio.
you hear the aircon?
Yeah.
That's the question.
You might be able to. But anyway.
Hello to German Rifter, John. Enters the arcade. I think I can read that from here.
My eyesight's not good enough. I'd have to look at
No, we're
Good morning to you
miles
guys.
away from the monitor, so I'm struggling here to see
Before we
anything.
start as well, since it's very candid, I have got a very special that Gary's not aware of. What's in the bag, Lee? So I'm going to pass this to
there we go.
Gary, and I want him to have a look down there. Maybe there's something in there. What's in the bag?
Oh, no.
This is very exciting. There's an empty bottle.
Yeah, not that one. In the other bit,
The other bit.
the flap.
In the
Oh,
flap.
in the flap. Oh, there we go.
Here
Of
we
course
go.
it is, yeah.
What is it?
It is Beryl the Peril.
It's a
So,
Beryl the
long-time
Peril.
listeners of the last episode will remember we were talking about Beryl the Peril.
So that's a little gift for Gary. It's a
is it a gift?
1981. Yeah, it's a gift to
Oh,
you.
thank you very much.
And it is introducing many of the minks that I spoke about. So I got that for Gary and to add to his Beano collections, Whizzer and chips and things.
Yeah.
So he can add that to it and have
That's
a read
very
through.
kind. I wasn't expecting that, Lee.
You're welcome.
There we go.
I knew it was a mistake to not host myself, because it's going to turn into a Beano podcast now.
Well, we can easily do that. Okay, well, we probably should stick on. I don't even know where the camera is. It's up
Can't
there.
hear AC, German Rifter. Thank you very much. Audio, video is good on my side. Brilliant.
Okay.
I've got an ad. No, have I got an advert? No. I'm suddenly watching. Apparently on my phone, I'm suddenly watching Star Talk. It's the universe made of tiny vibrating strings.
Sounds like my kind of thing.
Don't know how that.
I watch stuff like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, Pimax Crystal Super. Shall we get on to it?
Go for it.
Go on then. So I've had the Pimax Crystal Super for a few weeks now. I've been doing some videos on my channel about it, so you can go and watch some of them. But today, both Rog and Lee tried it. Rog, what did you think? First impressions?
It's slightly gutting. I've not played a lot of VR since we did our last podcast. I've done over the past week just get up to date on a couple of things. And when I put my Quest on earlier this week, the first thing that hit me was the FOV. It's just, it always does. It really always does. And then you put that Pimax on, and it's like just so blatantly obvious, but I was saying it seems to be quite a square, no, not square, rectangular FOV, where you described it as oval.
It's more, I think it's more oval than the original Crystal, that's all. I still think it's generally a square, but the original Crystal, I always felt like that was really square, like a really square FOV. This one's less so, it's like a bit more rounded at the edges anyway.
I say it's not a criticism, it's just like strange. But the FOV compared to like to the old Quest 3, it's like, oh, this is so much better.
Because the Quest 3 is just like this, isn't it? Basically,
yeah,
that's all it is. Whereas it's got, I definitely could see like more around from the side there. Like I said to you, it feels like you've got that much more edge, which just brings it out and it feels more natural, doesn't it?
But the resolution, I mean, first thing jumps into was aircar, and just one of the landing platforms off in the distance, it just looks so sharp compared to the Quest, and it's like, oh, it did look very, very good, and it's the sort of thing I want from whatever the next Quest is. I want them to be able to get up to this, at least that FOV, and the resolution might be a problem because the amount of poke you need to run a headset.
Yeah,
that's what I
was going to say as well. It's like we tried Aircar, we tried Elite Dangerous Legacy version, which are two things I know I can get running at full res in that headset. But there's not a lot else really that I can do at native resolution.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. I mean, you could probably do things like Beat Saber and stuff, but I mean,
it's
that's
like over double the Quest resolution, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, like the render resolution. So on Quest, when you connect it to virtual desktop and you run it on, say, high or ultra settings, you're getting something like, I don't know, around 3,000 by 3,000 pixels, something like that. Maybe that's godlike even, I don't know.
Yeah.
But then the render resolution on the maximum is 6,200 by 6,200 per eye. So you're pushing ridiculous amounts of pixels, really, yeah. So that's really where it comes down to. But yeah, I mean, the thing is, if you see it and you can get things running at that resolution at native frame rates where you're not dropping any frames as well, it looks fantastic. Yeah, it's
I had a quick fly around in Elite Dangerous as well, and it's like, if I had a headset that made it look like that, I haven't played Elite for years.
Yeah.
But I would go back. I would absolutely go back. It's just Pimax and the price, obviously.
Yeah.
It's just too much money. A headset at that price would have to do something new for me, I think. I don't know what. Maybe Valve can do something. And again, what is that going to be? I don't know. But yeah, it does look really good. There was one thing, and I know you've mentioned it on your videos, Gary. There was some indefinable something. When I first put it on, there was something that wasn't quite right. And I still don't know what it was.
Yeah.
After 5 minutes in it, it sort of, I forgot about it. Because then it suddenly hit me that I'd forgotten. But there was something not quite there. And I know you said it's focused at about a metre.
Yeah, apparently that's the best. Well, that's what the original Crystal, officially by Pimax, they've said it's a 1 metre focal distance on the original Crystal. And everywhere I've looked, people have been quoting that as being the same on this, which I can believe. It feels the same. Others have said the Super, and I don't know if there's any actual grounding for this officially, but some people have said it's as low as 0.8 meters focal distance. So I don't know where they've got that figure, so that's probably not official or anything.
That probably sounds about right to me, because I wear, my glasses are for like short distances and long, they're very focals, but the short distance one's the problem. And I tried the headset without the glasses. I could definitely feel it pulling on my right eye, and it felt really strange and weird and out of, not quite in focus, like something was not quite right. That would explain that sort of distance on it.
Yeah, it is that thing though. It's just, there's something slightly different in looking through that headset than it is on a Quest 3. There's something, there's just that sensation when you first go in after using a Quest 3 for so long, or other headsets as well where you don't have this, to go into that and it just feels a little bit off. But then, like you said, and I've said loads of times, if I use the Pimax Crystal or the Crystal Super for any length of time, it goes and you forget about it and you just think it's all normal. Yeah.
But the binocular overlap as well it's just so much better than a Quest.
Yeah.
I didn't notice any. At least to my eyes, anyway.
No, I don't notice any problems with that either, to be honest, on that headset. I think some people have said it's slightly lower binocular overlap than the original Crystal, possibly, but then they've also got this wide field of view thing that you were talking about, Lee, earlier. And if you get these wide field of view lenses, that reduces the binocular overlap. So that might cause problems for people. And I've said it as well, I'd rather take a smaller field of view and more binocular overlap than wider field of view and less, personally.
But the lenses are so good.
Yeah.
They're so good, so clear, no screen door. I mean, we were like trying to really...
Yeah.
You can literally see pixels of stitching on handlebars in aircar and things like that. It's,
the colours look good, the black levels are good.
Yeah.
In Elite, there was that... I remember seeing it... I remember feeling that in the Rift as well, when it was OLED. The engines of the ship you're chasing just look bright.
Yeah.
In a way that on an LCD it just doesn't.
The colours are definitely good in the Crystal Super, yeah. I mean, I'll give that to it. The thing is, what I was saying to people that I speak to, just in my daily life as well, that are into VR, they've said, is it worth it over a Quest 3? They've got Quest 3s and they'll say, is it worth it?
Yeah.
And I think the difference is that you look at pluses and minuses on all these headsets. Like the Quest 3 has got smaller form factor, it's lighter, it's also got wireless capabilities. To some people, those things are the most important thing.
Yeah.
To other people, they just want that clear visual fidelity and the best visual fidelity at all costs. It doesn't matter it's got a wire, it doesn't matter it's bulkier, it doesn't matter it's heavier. They just want that. So it's different things. And I think I fall somewhere in the middle because I experienced the Crystal Super and I love it and I love that visual fidelity. But it's going to take a lot to take me away as the Quest 3 being my daily driver, simply because I like the wireless capability and I like the smaller form factor.
yeah, easy to use.
Yeah. But I mean, I think the thing is, I think you need a 5090 as well. This is what I've said. I think you need a 5090.
Yeah.
We tried, because I bought Resist on Steam in the summer sale, and I've not played it, so I tried to play that at native resolutions, didn't I? And it just wouldn't run. It just wouldn't run at all.
It's slideshow.
Yeah, it would run, but it was like less than 5 frames a second.
You lowered Steam down to 50%, and then it was still
dropping. Yeah, it still wasn't running at 80 frame rate. So running at 50% the resolution in Steam VR as well, which was around 4,100 by 4,100 per eye. It still wouldn't run it. So yeah, it's a tough one.
Yeah. I mean, good headset, but just way too pricey. Way too pricey for me.
Yeah.
Hi, Michelle.
Yeah.
Yep. Morning, Michelle.
Hello,
Just come to see the king of hole-in-ones.
Oh yeah. For anybody that didn't see that video, that is quite a treat for all but one person, I think. So Lee and Rog played the new course in Walkabout Mini Golf.
Yeah, Crystal Lair,
Yeah, Crystal Lair. Lee decided, just on the off chance, to record a video just to see what happened. He was absolutely delighted he did. So I advise people to go and watch that if they get a
I
chance.
still lost. If you watch it, I just keep hitting hole-in-ones bizarrely, and then Rod still beat me at the end. So, but I mean, somehow that bit got clipped. But yeah, it's only like 2 minutes long, so go give it a view if you want a good giggle.
Yes.
And it's quite fun for me to watch again and again forever on YouTube.
Oh, Rog. You still say he won the round, though? Is that right?
You still beat me.
He had a few nightmare rolls later on. It's his second half.
Second half.
The back nine for Lee, it's just a disaster.
I even say it like when we're speaking. I got like -11 for the first, I don't know, 7 or 8 holes. I won -11 or something stupid like that. But I mean, if anyone's got the Rival app on Quest, I don't think it's available yet. There's a bit. I've tried to use that to upload a 3D video because I actually took it in 3D, recorded it in 3D first just to try that. But I've uploaded it and it's gone through where they've checked everything's okay, and I'm waiting for moderator to release it, I guess. But if anyone's thinking of doing like 3D videos for that, don't bother, because I don't think it's worth it. I don't think anyone's on the Discord, because I asked a couple of questions on that. Nobody answered me. And like I said, it's like 3 or 4 days maybe now. It's been on there and it's still not released. So if it does get released, I'll drop something on Twitter, but you could see it in 3D. But
so is it fully in 3D? As if it's from your point of view, basically? As if you're playing.
It's quite.
It's going to make the camera's going to be moving all over the place.
It is.
Stuff,
if you tilt your head, it does make you slightly queasy. So I mean, that's why I would be wary if you do watch anything on there. It's more for like slow paced. People's got like animations, 3D animations, things like that on it, and it's probably better off watching things like that. As game wise, I don't think it's that great, but. And also, it's also like a sort of resolution like that when you're watching it in your headset, which is kind of strange. But yeah, I don't know. I think I saw BMF do a video about it, praising it, saying how great it was, this, that, and other. It's not. So that's my opinion. But there you go.
Yeah. So, any more thoughts on the Pimax Crystal? There's not really a lot to say, really, because
No.
I mean, it's a high resolution headset.
Yeah, if you want to know more, go and watch Gary's videos.
Yeah. Well, I'm
pretty
struggling
much
to think
covers
of
it.
other stuff to make
Yeah,
videos
well, I
on, to
could
be honest.
definitely tell more difference than 2 years ago when I tried the crystal on, like how it affected my eyes. But like, that's 2 years more of this, so my prescription's probably got a lot more than what it is. And I think I did put my glasses on to say, oh, it does feel a little bit better when I put them on.
I mean, I was impressed with the crystal anyway when
Yeah.
I first tried it.
Yeah.
And this is sort of like,
I don't know if it looks-
it's that again, sort of.
Yeah.
It's it's definitely clearer. I think
Yeah.
it's definitely miles clearer than the crystal is. But it looks kind of painterly when you're looking at things. It's very close to real life.
I don't think it looks that. I think it looks clearer than the crystal, but I just don't think it's like a massive leap over the original crystal.
I don't know. Maybe it's because of your graphics card as well that I'm seeing all these shadows and
Possibly,
different colour, things like that.
Yeah, I mean, I've still got the crystal over there. At the minute I've got the crystal light here, we could try that because that's the same resolution as well. But the original, the lenses in that are not great. I've got to swap some lenses over with the crystal light because they sent me some replacement lenses. There were some issues with the distortion and stuff on them, but I've still got the original crystal in the shed at the minute. It's in its box. So I mean, it's going directly from that because I've used the crystal throughout, since I've got it, and going from that to this, I just didn't notice it being a massive leap. That's all. But it obviously is. I mean, when you look at the difference in the render resolution of the two headsets, I just feel like after a certain point, you don't get so much of a leap, like resolutions on TVs and stuff like that. Eventually, you get to a point. But yeah, it's definitely a good headset. I do think it's a really good headset, and it's where you put value into certain features of headsets as to whether it's for you or not, I suppose. But is what it is.
Another OG VR365 viewer in chat there,
Rudy Zavedno.
as Anthony used to.
Yeah.
Just say, sorry, I
Morning,
said your name wrong.
afternoon,
Can't quite see it
whatever
from
time
here.
it is.
Yeah.
Rudel. Rudel?
Rudel.
Rudel?
That's how Anthony used to say. Anyway.
Ah.
Okay. Well, we've got a few other little topics just to kick us off in a general discussion, I suppose, anyway. But one of the things that released recently on PSVR 2 and... Was it on Quest before PSVR 2? Or?
Yeah, I think so. I
so.
think they delayed the PSVR 2. Wasn't there some discrepancy with prices or something? Or was that the Superbike one I'm thinking of? I'm not sure.
No, that's a V-Racer. So
Yeah,
we'll get on V-Racer anyway. But there was another one very similar to this. So V-Racer Hoverbike is the futuristic one. And then there was the V-Rider.
V-Rider is the motorbike.
Is the motorbike
Yeah.
one,
That's
which released on PSVR 2.
It's
And it
the
had
same company, right?
I don't know. I don't
it?
think so.
No idea.
I had no idea. This is what we always do.
Fact check. We can't say we don't fact check on here.
But so I played just because I knew we were going to talk about it. I played a little bit of this morning. So I played the tutorial, then the first 2 tracks. But I think you've played a bit more, haven't you, Rog?
I played through the first campaign.
Yeah.
I'm about halfway through the second, I think. Oh no, actually, I think I'm nearly at the end of the second. Again, this is one of the things I put on the other day, just because I knew we were going to do the podcast. And yeah, I like it. I like hoverbike games. Actually, sort of anti-grav races has been my thing recently, because I picked up a Switch, so I've been playing F-Zero 99.
Yeah.
And then there's a game, Fast Fusion.
Yeah, that looks good, that does.
It's like less than 15 quid on Switch. If you bought a Switch 2 recently, get Fast Fusion. It's really good. If you like Wipeout, it's brilliant. So yeah, I like the anti-grav races. So yeah, I had a go on this, and yeah, I actually like it. It's actually a lot better than I thought it was going to be. I thought I was going to do a couple of tracks and then think, oh, this is crap.
Yeah.
No, I like it. The problem I've got with it is, I know you spot this as well, is the performance doesn't hold up all the time. Sometimes it's smooth, and sometimes it isn't. And it's quite annoying because I actually like the game. Weirdly, I don't. This has been on Steam since 2018.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I've never played. I don't know if I've not seen it or just thought, oh, it's some indie racy game. It'll be, it won't be any good, and just ignored it. I don't know. But I looked at some of the Steam screenshots and I thought, oh yeah, the lighting on that track looks so much better than the Quest one. But yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's good. It's not bad. It desperately needs just a bit of a boost in performance. Weirdly, because it runs at 90 hertz, it's 90 FPS. And I thought maybe Quest Games Optimizer, I'll drop it down to 72 and see what happens, and it ran worse.
Oh, right.
So I don't know if I did something just wrong, but it wasn't good. It just runs better at its native default settings for some reason. And I don't know whether that's because when it's dropping frames, it's dropping down to 45 rather than 36.
Oh, maybe.
I don't know.
So because the tutorial and then the first track that you play, which is basically the same track as the tutorial anyway, you played through that, and that was like smooth. Like there was no issue with performance on that at all. I only noticed it on the second track in the campaign, and it was much worse performance than the first track. So that's why it was just jarring, that was. But yeah, I enjoyed it for it. I mean, it seems pretty basic though. That's the thing, and maybe there's more to it as you go through. But it seems like it's Wipeout. It's got the weapons and things like that, and maybe because what kind of progression? Because you're buying this, you win these races and you get this money. Yeah. So can you upgrade your bike? Do you know?
You don't upgrade your bike. You've got there's four different bikes to buy, as far as I know.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, that's your upgrade path basically. Apart from sort of like the cosmetic, you can buy cosmetics as well for your racing outfit and for the bike. There's a livery editor, so you can go in and paint your own thing, put your own decals on, and all that sort of stuff. But as far as the game goes, yeah, you've got like normal sort of like races with like Wipeout with weapons, but it's also got sort of Wipeout style time trials, that sort of thing. There's a few different, is it 3 or 4 different types? I can't remember. I can't remember if there's like a one where you have to be in the top so many to progress. I can't remember now. Wow, we're such pro, so pro. But yeah, it's varied in as much as you'd expect. Sort of, you know, if you played Wipeout, it's that sort of variation. I think some of the tracks are fine. Like I say, the graphics are fine for Quest, but it definitely needs a bump in performance. Some of the boost pads are a bit bizarre. So they'll put them in very awkward places. They'll put them directly on a corner.
Exactly, yeah, I noticed that.
He's like, are they doing this as like, you're supposed
to avoid it.
Yeah, you're supposed to, but you've got to avoid it, or else you're gonna careen straight into a wall. But yeah, it puts them in places where other racing games don't, and that's a bit weird.
Yeah, that is weird.
Yeah, the missiles as well. The lock-on missiles work one time in 20. For me, I think I've had one hit from a missile that's locked on.
Right.
The fire and forget missiles work way better because you get 3 of them at once. With the lock on, you just get 1, and it barely ever hits. You put the difficulty up as well, and there's a definite sharp increase in difficulty. Because I was playing it started on the easiest one.
Yeah, you got lucky. Then it's amateur, I think. I tried amateur.
Then there's 2 more above that. Yeah. Rookie I found too easy. Amateur I found extremely challenging to the point that I'm not entirely sure I won a race.
No, when I tried it on amateur, so I did the same race twice, the second race twice, and when I tried it on amateur, I came last when I tried it on amateur.
There's like this definite jump, and it's like, okay, maybe I'm just not good enough at the moment, but it didn't feel like there was a good progression, having gone through like an entire sort of season of tracks. I thought, I'll put the difficulty up, and it's suddenly tough, and there's 2 higher difficulties above that. I don't know if you did it or not, because I think I tried the first 3 bikes, because it's like a review build we've got. There's a button in there where you can click a button, and it gives you 10 million credits.
Oh right, I didn't see that. No. Yeah. Okay.
So you can just buy everything if you want to, but to start with, I just started off with the first bike because I thought I want to play it as you would normally play it. But even buying one of the other bikes, I still struggled.
Yeah.
The unlock thing was for press release, wasn't it? So that's just for us. If you go to your game and you're looking for it, it's not there. But
yeah, so I did the unlock, and then I had a look, and the release build, the normal release build, was a version up, a version number higher,
right?
Okay. So I went to that one just in case there was a difference.
The other thing with it, which we've not spoken about, is the controls as well, because there's a lot of variations in the controls. So you have this in standard, in default, which is how I played it. You basically move your head. That's how you steer. You move your head from left and right, and it leans the bike in that direction. So it's sort of the headset in relation to your hands, I would imagine, as to how it calculates.
I thought you had
that
to move your like body bits like that because I was doing that when I was doing it.
Yeah, it's literally you move your head, you move your whole torso really as you're doing
I mean,
it.
Well,
why don't we show
leave.
everybody how we do it on camera? Because we're just going like this. We move left and right.
So yeah, you've got that, but then you can also add variations on that as well, where you can use the handlebars to either go forwards and backwards on each side, or you can use them to go up and down as well, and you can combine the head movement with the handlebars as well if you want to. So it's got all these bases covered, I think. I don't know how that other game works, that
I could barely stay on the track on that on V-Rider, on the motorbike one. It felt too, maybe it was just too sim-like or something, I don't know. I just didn't like it. This, to me, actually felt more like it was just a normal motorbike racing game, but an arcade version of a motorbike racing game. If I was, if you'd have put me straight on this, game in progress, and just sat me there and said, right, trigger to accelerate, off you go. I don't know if, I mean, apart from the futuristic tracks, I don't know if I'd have realised I was actually on a hoverbike.
No.
It's not very hovery.
No.
But saying that, it's good. I like it. It's just, I sort of want to play the PC version. Unfortunately, I went to Steam just to see how much it was, and I was kind of surprised given how old it was. So I looked on a Steam price tracker checker, and when they brought this Quest version out, whenever it was a few weeks back, they put the price of the Steam version up by like $10 or £10 or something to match the price of the Quest one. So like, oh well, maybe I won't pick it up then if it had been its original price. It's just the fact they put it up, it sort of knocked me a bit.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I think from what I've played, like I said, I've only played a couple of tracks really, but it seemed decent enough anyway. If the performance on the second track was better, I would have been a bit more impressed, to be honest. But
it doesn't seem far off. It just needs, I don't know. I say like there's plenty of times on it where it is smooth, but it's just there's too much of it dropping frame rate. So I don't know if it's just on a fine line, and maybe a bit of tweaking that could just get there to a native frame rate. Maybe if they dropped it from 90 hertz to 72 and made sure it ran okay.
Yeah.
Because I know that they're probably trying to do 90 hertz because it's a fast-paced game and they want it smooth. They don't want people feeling ill. But if the performance isn't there in the first place, what's the point of 90 hertz?
Yeah. Did when you tried it in Quest Games Optimized and you loaded it to 72, did you increase the GPU or anything like that?
I left those as default because when I monitored it in OVR metrics, it was really ramping those up anyway.
Oh, right, okay.
So I left it to its own devices there.
Yeah.
But I don't know why dropping it to 72 would make it was drastically worse, the performance. So
that's weird.
Maybe it didn't keep the game's own actual settings for the GPU and CPU. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'd like to see them give you an option at least anyway. Go up 72 hertz and maybe better performance.
Yeah. You played a bit, Lee, didn't you?
I played it a bit, but I only really tried it for literally 10 minutes because I didn't like the movement. I didn't realise until speaking to Raj that you could actually use the controllers as well as moving your body, because I didn't like the moving the body thing. I just like sat doing this on my settee, like freaking about, and I thought I don't like this at all, and I couldn't get the corners right. And then I was using the controllers on their own, and I find them to be really sensitive. So the slightest movement of the thumbstick, and I was like really veered over to one corner. And I didn't realise you could combine both of them.
Oh yeah,
to make it a bit easier to use, as like Gary says, with like handlebars and things like that. So I'll have to go back in and give it another go. Now I know that.
Yeah, because you can use just the thumbsticks as well. I forgot to mention
it's
that.
really sharp turning. There's the slightest movement, and you're really banked over. So I couldn't even get around the corners.
But for a game that uses virtual controls, I actually found it pretty good. It's one of the better ones out there. I thought it handled pretty well.
Yeah.
I think Michelle's just put she needs to level up to get to multiplayer. I don't think you have to do that much, right, Roger? It's a lot multiplayer.
I don't think so, because it kept trying to put... I've not tried multiplayer, but it kept telling me there were people online.
Yeah.
On several occasions, so it does seem to be... maybe...
I think a couple of tracks, maybe, I'm not sure. Yeah, there's not a lot.
It's got leaderboards as well, hasn't it? I think,
I don't know how many people are playing the actual single-player campaign, because, I say I've only played through that first one and I'm on to the second campaign, and I think I'm rank 50. On the XP thing, so I don't know how many people actually bought it.
Okay, back on cam.
Yeah.
So like movement.
I do have to bring something up at this point, because I do feel like I've been lured here under false pretenses, right? Because let's have a look. I'm sorry.
I've got some snacks in.
I was promised cake.
What would you describe this as, Lee?
What is this cake?
Well, I don't.
It's as close as to cake as
is that cake.
What is it then?
Is it?
What is it then if it's not cake?
Is it sponge finger jam? I don't know.
It's jam surrounded by cake.
I mean, it is nice to come in because they're all on top. I mean, if you've got an X arcade, by the way, anyone, you could use it as a food buffet area as well by putting things on top.
We've got limited room in here, so yeah, I have to use the horizontal surfaces as I can. Yeah.
But Gary did ask if we like cake and snacks,
I need clarification.
And then did say,
look at him, he's loving it.
What I would like to drink, because I've got some fizzy pop, things like that. And Gary asked if there's anything else I preferred. And I did say, when I do cry, I'm quite partial to the tears of newborn babies. And then I said, I am.
What's in the bag, Lee?
Yay! So,
okay. What else then? What else we got to talk about? So there is this other game as well that you were going to. Shall I let him finish his cake? And it is cake. The Phoenix gene. Mm-hmm. So I don't even think I've heard of this one.
Well, we were sent a key for this as well as the Hoverlight game, and I was sort of intrigued with this one because it sort of promised
Space Harrier type
Space
thing,
Harrier, Panzer Dragoon-y, Unreal's arcade shooter.
Oh, I do remember Lee talking about. I think you mentioned the Space Harrier thing as well. Yeah.
It looked very much like that. Sorry, I'm just getting a non-cake cake. It did look very much like that on the intro thing I saw.
And
cake? No cake.
You don't like cake?
I'm not a big fan of cake.
So I was expecting sort of maybe more of a fast-paced game than what this is. And just you'll get a grasp of this from watching the video. Do you think there's much arcade action shooting stuff going on? Now look, this is the beginning of the game. It's trying to show you what to do, but this is the problem I've got with this. It's nice enough. It looks good enough. It actually runs at, I think, I can't remember whether it's 45 to 90 reprojected or 36 to 72, but it gets away with it. It actually gets away with it. And I don't think most people would notice. The problem I had with it is it wants to tell a story. And why would you pick an arcade Unreal shoot 'em up to tell a story? Because you can't tell it from here. But a lot of the time you're being talked at, you're being narrated at. And I'm not entirely sure that they picked the right genre to do this. But anyway, the idea is the title, with the title behind it, there's some sort of immortality serum gene thing that's available to the elite. And these guys are jumping off so they can kill themselves and be resurrected, apparently, as far as I understand it. You're playing like an employee of this company who's developed this, but you're also a carrier of this gene. And then for some reason you decide to escape and everybody's after you. And I honestly really can't remember the story. But just to tie in the Phoenix thing as well, you get a Phoenix to ride on, which looks more like a dragon or a wyvern to me. I'm not sure why that's referred to as a Phoenix. I have absolutely no idea. But so you go shooting your way through the levels, and there's a story that's being told all the time. The problem is, like I said, a lot of the time you're not actually shooting stuff. A lot of the time you're collecting stuff. A lot of the time it ends up going very slow paced, so it can dump exposition on you. And you can see how much they want to tell a story. And you go into the menu, and I don't know if they've added any more yet, but at the time when I played it, there was a half an hour. I mean, you could read it as well, but you could also listen to it as an audiobook. But half an hour's worth of story to sit and listen to.
Oh, right.
And it's like, what? God. Why have you made an arcade shoot 'em up to tell this obvious, this story, this plot, this entire thing you've cooked up? Why isn't this some sort of maybe arcade action adventure platformer? Because you sort of like ride on the back of this dragon. Or Phoenix, whatever you want to call it. There's times that in the beginning level, she actually jumps off. She's running along the platforms. You're trying to shoot her to defend her. And it's like, that's pretty cool. But it's like, why wasn't this like more of a platform adventure game if you want to tell this much of a story? And at times it just slows down too much.
It's not, just looking at the footage though as well, when you think, I mean, I know the point of view is like Space Harrier, but in terms of gameplay, Space Harrier is just so fast and you've got these waves, these huge waves of enemies. This doesn't look like you've got that at all.
No.
It's
again, this bit here now as well, he's just flying through like this corridor just so you can see more story.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
And it happens a lot. It's just, I'm sure there's some people out there who'll absolutely love it and lap it all up. But for me, I was expecting a shooter, so maybe I was expecting the wrong type of game.
Yeah, I'm going to say it might be something to how they've promoted it, or maybe something like that, in what the actual game is. It's the expectation that you go in is whether you enjoy it. If you go into it knowing it's going to be a narrative, sort of more slower paced thing, then you might be more favourable.
You get a lot of this as well, where suddenly the geometry will just smack you in the face, and unless you're willing to sort of move large amounts around your room, you're not going to get away from it. There is a mechanism where you can sort of switch between realities. I can't remember how they explain it. So you can switch and see different things, or maybe phase some objects in and out. But there's a lot of times where the geometry is just sort of in the way, and the flight path just isn't, good.
Yeah.
This bit as well, all of a sudden you sort of shrunk down and flying around the laboratory at a miniature size. I'm not sure I picked up why that happens. It just seems bizarre, since you seem to be like a full-scale person to start with, and now all of a sudden you're miniaturized. Maybe it explained it to you, but if it did, my brain had switched off. I just wasn't interested. I just wanted to shoot stuff.
It's got weird sort of the explosions and things. They're almost like animated, like lower frame rate animations, aren't they? It's like they've gone for specific.
This level had performance issues as well. It was noticeably slowing down. Probably not helped much here by recording it as well.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I did play through it without actually recording, and there's another pillar in the face.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's something there I want to like, but I think it needs a lot of reworking. It would need a lot of reworking for me to really, really enjoy it. And see, it's not a bad looking game in that actual headset. I mean, apart from the sort of like the performance, when it dips. But yeah, there's a story going off all the time, and it's like wrong genre.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you play this one, Lee?
No, I've not played this one. I sent it to Rog because I thought it'd be his thing. So yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I'll say it's. I mean, look at the video. What's on the screen? If you like the look of it, you might like the game. If you want the story, or you're sort of casually shooting stuff and collecting things, fine. But it was like the boss at the end of the level suddenly became really difficult after the rest of the level being remarkably easy. So I'm not sure if there's like some sort of balance issues that need sorting out as well. But yeah, I mean it's not bad. It's absolutely not bad. It's just not. I just didn't find it great either. It just wasn't my thing. Maybe I was expecting something more like Space Harrier or Panzer Dragoon or something.
Yeah,
it isn't that.
Yeah. All right. While Lee was here as well earlier, you tried the X Arcade stick.
I did, yeah.
I've not got any footage on that. It's not even on camera either, but never mind.
I just had a quick go, just setting it up, and I was actually quite surprised how good it is. It definitely gives more immersion, just feeling the sides of the cabinet while you're hitting the buttons. And then Gary showed something like they're bringing a haptic feedback something out.
Yeah, so they're bringing this haptic feedback kit for the X Arcade. I might be able to show that on screen. But so this was on Upload VR. They said that X Arcade announces X Force haptics kit for virtual pinball enthusiasts. Let's see if I can get that. No, I won't bother with that. I can't. There is a way of getting that on there, but anyway, yeah. So this, you tried the pinball game, didn't you? Anyway, in the X Arcade. So this haptic kit will add in like accessories that you can, like the ball launcher and things like that, and various other things. I think it said it's got 4 points of haptic feedback within this to make it feel more like a proper pinball table. But
I'm not hearing them all here.
Oh, it's not cake.
We're not sponsored by.
Still likes it though, don't they?
Mr. Kipling, by the way. All the cakes are available.
But yeah, so the pinball thing, that's all you've tried on it, really, anyway. But yeah, it does add. I think
it's really easy to get into as well. You just literally put a little adapter on your headset, and then when you load the game, it's Pinball FX VR was playing on the Quest, and then it basically says if you're playing it, just drop your controllers into where the arcade, just drops them in there, where it shows you where to put them, and then you can just use the little bits to the side, little buttons, beep beep beep. And we've got that bit and play the game, and Yeah, it definitely added more. It definitely put a smile on my face straight away, and I was like, if you're into pinball games, definitely get one of those. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a cheap thing. I think at the minute though, you can get these for £297. They used to be, I think they were £400, and they dropped them down. I don't know if it's temporary discount or anything like that, but yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, I don't use it that often. I've used it for pinball, and I've used it for arcade time capsule as well, and that's pretty much all I'm using it for.
I don't know what other case scenario would be able to use it for other than them, but
well, that's the thing, because what I would do if I didn't have that arcade cabinet, I'd set up a monitor above it as well, and I'd have it just as a flat arcade thing, to be honest. But yeah, that's what I'd use it for. But yeah, it's I mean, I think £300 is like 297. It's not too bad for it with the stand.
Yeah, I mean, it's got like 2 joysticks, a load of buttons for each player, and a trackball in the middle as well.
Yeah, it's got the trackball as well.
I mean, buying those type of controllers separately probably cost that type of thing anyway.
Well, you look at the arcade, the standard X Arcade tank stick, which comes with the rollerball in the middle as well. That I think you're paying sort of £200 for them alone anyway. So with a stand and you've got this extra functionality, I don't think it's bad, but it's definitely not for everyone, is it? I mean, you've got to be into pinball.
They lined it up perfectly though as well. It's literally where the pinball was like that. That's where the buttons were at the side. It was perfectly lined up, so they've done a really good job calibrating it. And
it's like not taking as much space up as an arcade
cabinet. No, it's not.
But it's still taking up space, and that's the
it does. Yeah,
I enjoyed it. It was good fun.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to talk about this actually. Thief. So this was an announcement. So since the last podcast, we've not really spoken about some new announcements and stuff like that. But Thief was one of the ones which was just very good, and I've not sized that correctly, but never mind. I'll get that in there. So this is just the trailer anyway, the announcement trailer. So I was always a big fan of Thief. I played the original Deadly Shadows, was it? Was that the very first game that came out? Yeah. So that was the first one. I played through that back in the day, 97, whenever it came out. And then
Dark Project.
The Dark Project, yeah, sorry, yeah.
Deadly Shadow, was that the remake? Was Deadly Shadow?
It might be the remake, yeah, which I did play as well, a little bit of.
I don't think it was bad. I know it got slated, but I don't think it was that bad.
No, I only played a little bit of it, but I sort of enjoyed it. The criticisms that I saw around that one, which this VR version is actually based on, sort of that same... It's got the same look, and it's sort of based in the remake's universe rather than the original ones, apparently.
Well, isn't it supposed to be between them or something? I'd read between.
Oh, maybe.
But I mean, I saw that the trailer, the opening bit where you got the guards stood outside.
Yeah.
And I instantly thought of the original version because I remember that first game, that first level you went into, and you went by the guards and sneaking past them, and they were talking about betting on bear baiting and stuff.
Yeah. And is it the blackjack or you hit him on the head? Yeah, I remember that first part of that game.
Yeah.
Did you play any of these, the older ones, like the Thief 2? Or
I played Thief 2. I'm not entirely sure I finished Thief 3. I finished the first two.
Yeah.
But the first one, I always say, it was so good at the time. I'd have to put it in. I might have to put it in my top 10 all-time favorite games.
Yeah,
it was that good at the time. It did scare factor. For me, back in when like flat games were sort of scary, that when you went into the cathedral level, you were searching for the eye in the cathedral, and you had no weapons, and they were like, I can't remember whether it was zombies or there was undead in there.
Yeah, they had a lot of zombie type things in there as well.
And you were trying to make something to be able to escape from the cathedral, and you were hiding all the time from these things. And it back then it was scary.
Well, that was the first stealth game that I ever played, because I didn't play Metal Gear Solid. I didn't have a PlayStation back then, but so for a lot of people that was probably the first stealth game that they played. But Thief was the first one, and I was looking for it on Exodus the other day, but it's not. It's a Windows game, so yeah. But yeah, I've thought about going back in because I've been watching some videos about that original one, and it's a fantastic game, and it is well suited to VR. That's the thing. Yeah. I really think that these types of games are. And I played a game. I've mentioned this Unnightly. There's a game on Steam called Unnightly, and it is Thief. That is Thief in VR. It's done by a solo developer. But they've done a great job because they're obviously a big fan of the original Thief. Yeah. And they've done a great job with that. But if we've got something official like this and it's coming out on all these different platforms as well.
I think Lee was just waving to Artful, despite the fact the camera isn't on at the minute.
Yeah.
Do you want to give him a quick wave now?
Hey, dude. I think German Rippers put as well. It likes the gameplay mechanics look pretty good on that, and from that trailer, they do. It looks like you are using your hands to grip things and move in and grab, like grab the key.
Yeah.
And that. But I mean, I'm not. You'd be surprised to know I have no idea about Thief games, and I've never played any. But the only reason I heard about this was mainly all the kerfuffle on Twitter. And PC Gamer announced that it was coming out. Not really a glowing recommendation from them, I don't think, or whoever. Reviewed it or gave the information that this game's coming out in VR. I think there may have been a diehard Thief fan, but not a diehard VR fan.
There was an article, wasn't there?
It was two.
Yeah. People weren't happy that it was in VR because I think people have been wanting sort of it does seem like a bit of a spiritual successor to the original ones.
Yeah.
They've got the original voice actor for Garrett's back. Even though this time his soul seems to be in the eye.
Right,
you play a new character in this. But
because you pick up the eye in the trailer. There's the eye in the trailer, isn't it?
You hear the voice, and there's an interview with him online, and it's saying about how how he got started in voice acting. I think for video games.
I don't know.
The voice actor for Garrett, but he said it meant a lot to him. It was amazing after all this time to be able to go back to that character because it meant such a lot to him. But I just hope they don't mess this up.
No, he's got all the things like water arrows. Like I say, this other one, Unnightly, because he was such a big fan of the original Thief as well. You have all those things like the water arrows and all those things which play such a big part in that original game, and I hope that they get that part down. And the other big thing is I hope they give the levels enough scope where you can go about them in
the way you want to do. Yeah, because the original game as well, one of the amazing things about this when it first came out was the rope arrows, where you could actually fire, if there was a wooden surface, you could fire a rope arrow up into it and climb up the rope. And back then, when this came out, that was incredible. To be able to create your own pathway through a level was something you didn't get.
It's but though, I mean, just on those two articles, so there was two on PC Gamer. There was one by an American guy, I believe, and then one by a British guy, but they were following up these articles on separate days. So they published one on one day, then one on another day. I mean, the takeaway is, I mean, I don't really care what people think. If people are not into VR and they hate it, and this guy obviously did, and he said it's a gimmick and this kind of stuff, that's all right. I don't really care about that. The problem is, his argument was that it's an IP that he likes. So if you boil his argument down, it was the fact of any IP that this guy likes is not allowed to be a VR game.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really what he was
his
saying.
argument was. Yeah. And his argument about that, well, a lot of games you don't have arms, you only have hands, and how is that realistic? And you think, well, if you're playing a monitor on a flat screen, you literally don't have any proper hand representation at all. You're pointing and clicking.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, he's entitled to his opinion. The problem is, it was a bit like a rage bait kind of article, and I'm sure it got loads of clicks.
It was totally butter because a game he wanted isn't on.
That's exactly it. Yeah,
it isn't on flat.
And that's the thing. It's like, well, we need anybody that develops a VR game needs to go and see this guy and just make sure he's not a fan of that IP. Otherwise, we're not allowed to develop a game for it in VR.
And in answer to your question, Artful, I think that's a resounding no. He hasn't.
What's the question?
Have you got your links?
Oh no, of course I'm not. No, I'm waiting. I've put in for the refund for the links R1. I'm waiting for that. Apparently it's July.
Oh, is it? I thought it was January.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, right.
Begins with a J. It's close enough.
Near enough. Yeah. So
did it say what year?
No, they didn't. Interestingly.
Well, there you go.
So we'll see.
Should have asked.
I don't know if I'll get the refund or not. I'm definitely not getting the headset. I think they've stopped shipping the headsets now. So any that didn't go out I think they were stopping the shipping of them in June. It might be July. I'm not sure. But anyway, I'm not getting the headset.
Here's a question. Would you trust them to release another product, and would you buy it?
Well, I wouldn't kickstart it. I mean, this is the thing. This is the risk on Kickstarter. That's the thing. So I went in knowing. And if I do eventually get the refund, then that's more than a lot of Kickstarters will do. But no, I wouldn't kickstart. I'm not kickstarting any piece of hardware ever again anyway. Yeah. But, and I'm not defending them because I think that you to one extent, you'd go into Kickstarter knowing the risk. So it is on you to some point. Mm-hmm. But these really felt like they were going to deliver on this headset. Yeah. That's why I went in, and they've not.
You went over there, didn't
I did,
you?
Yeah. And that's the thing. You go and visit them, and I knew it wasn't going to come out. I mean, I felt strongly it wasn't going to come out when they said originally it was going to come out, and I was fully prepared for that. But I'm not an engineer. I don't know really how long it takes to make these headsets. So I said I'd be surprised if they would hit that mark, but maybe they could have done. They didn't, and they missed it by about 2 years after that, which isn't a surprise to me because it still felt, they had to do all this stuff with software as well in the background. But no, I mean, any product that they release from now on, I'm waiting for a proper release. Yeah. This is the thing. I mean, say what you will about Pimax, and there's a lot of things to say about Pimax. They eventually get there, I would say, but they delay and delay and delay as well. But I mean, I think most people that have ordered a Pimax Crystal Super will get the Pimax Crystal Super. It's just when they get it, and there's already been massive delays on that. And it just seems like a lot of these hardware companies, if you're not Meta or Pico, to launch a VR headset just seems... I mean, it must be really difficult. It's got to be, because there's no way...
Sourcing parts and stuff as well. And wasn't it like COVID times and things like that hit them as well?
Well, Lynx was, I mean, it seemed like a complete... Yeah, I mean, COVID was a big problem. And I'm not, honestly, not trying to defend Lynx. It's just difficult when you go over there, you meet these people, you think they're doing a good thing, really, and you think, okay, they're going to deliver on this, and they've not delivered. So, no, I'm not going to buy another Lynx product. I think that's where I stand.
Are they doing something like the headset with Google's bringing something out? They was bringing us a version, and then wasn't it Samsung bringing a headset? I think we spoke about it briefly on one of the podcasts, but
yeah,
I know which one I wouldn't buy out of those three.
Yeah, well, they said it's that Android XR, isn't it? There's a few different headsets. So Samsung, I think they're bringing out Android XR for Google. Just...
It's like I was saying earlier on, there's no way I'm spending that sort of money on a headset. But if I did, I think it'd have to be Valve, who I gave my money to.
I think it will. Because the thing is, I was a big fan of the Index as well. And Valve would be the ones that I would probably trust to pay another £1,000 for a VR headset. But I'll say it again, I wouldn't buy the Pimax Crystal Super personally, because I don't think that headset is going to be something that I'm gonna want to use for the next 4 years, which for that price I'd want a headset that would be that. I just don't think that's possible at the moment. So I think £1,000 is the limit of what I would ever spend on a VR headset. I don't think that's something I would do at this moment in time anyway. It's difficult because when you think about the Quest 3, maybe I'm a Meta fanboy, I don't know, because I do think it's a fantastic headset and it does pretty much everything I want it to do. If it had bigger field of view, bigger resolution.
You're that big a fanboy, but you're not been out and bought an Xbox Quest 3S.
No, that's true. Yeah. What did you think of the Xbox 3S?
Initially, I thought, why are they doing it? Why would you buy that when you could just go and buy a Quest 3S for for $300 or whatever? But you do get an Elite head strap with it, don't you? I didn't realise this at the time. So that's there. So there's value there. You get, I think it's 3 months of Xbox Live and
Quest Plus subscription as well,
and
an Xbox controller.
And you get an Xbox controller. So the extra money you're paying, $100 extra, you're getting $100 worth of products at least. And what Meta normally charge for a flipping head strap anyway.
Yeah.
You might be saving some even. It's kind of annoying that they've actually done a black, it's a black headset, and it's like,
it looks real nice.
Given the choice, would you buy a black headset or a Quest?
Yeah, definitely buy.
I don't know why they went the white route anyway. It was just a thing that they did, wasn't it, with Quest 2, and they seem to have gone that way forward. But to have different colours would be maybe an option.
Yeah.
And I think a black Quest 3 would look really nice. I presume you can get skins and stuff like that. I don't know, but...
Yeah. But I don't want to start sticking skins and things on my Quest. What's going to just cause heat more,
Yeah.
What's going to insulate it? But given the option, I'd have bought a black one.
What do you think about the decision though for it to be a 3S rather than a 3? Because
it's price, isn't it?
It's price, yeah. I mean, that is what it comes down to. But you would think that playing flat games on a big monitor and those pancake lenses would be a benefit for that particular use case. Yep. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
But then again, you when you tried the 3S, you really liked it anyway, didn't you?
The binocular overlap is drastically superior to a normal Quest 3. That's where it, it's instantly noticeable.
Yeah.
To the fact it annoyed me, and it still does. Yeah.
I mean, I was like totally disgusted in the idea of this coming out in the first place, but I kind of warmed to it over the days, didn't I? And said, to get people into it. I said, well, surely if they're want to have a look at VR, they'd already picked up a Quest 3S or something, anyway. But I have seen on forums and a few messages on on people's videos that's been out about it, saying, "Oh, I didn't realise this was a thing. I might pick this up. I might have a look." And I think for the $400 or £400, whatever it is, you are getting a decent thing there. But I mean, like, what's the case scenario for it? Because I don't really see if you sat in the living room and you're playing your Xbox in the living room and you're not moving about anywhere, why would you need that? Or maybe it gets people into VR to try a few things. I'm waiting to see on Facebook Marketplace in the next month or two how many are on there popped up for sale. But I think it can only be a good thing. And with it being limited edition, they've nearly all sold out apparently. But
let's say with the extra bits you get, if you needed a joypad and you wanted a solid head strap as well, throw the Game Pass stuff in.
Yeah, I mean all the Quest stuff as well in the games. You're going to be able to play all that.
They've actually not overcharged for it.
No, I think
at the end of the day.
And just move a bit close to your mic, Rog. Les was just saying that he was asking if your mic was plugged in.
Oh, testing 1, 2, 3. Is it working?
Hopefully it should.
There was a funny comment further up as well. I can't remember what it was. He said, "What's the scary game with those 3 fellas in what's low resolution?" And that's us. Yeah.
So the camera we're using is the old trusty C920.
Probably keep going out of focus, you see, because we're kind of at the focus limit.
Unless
we all sit on each other's knee, it's quite hard for it to focus on all 3 of us.
Yeah,
I do need a new microphone. There's no doubt about that. This is one what actually Gary gave me. Years ago.
Before we just before we started.
VR round table, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And, it's not been acting up particularly well. I think I think there's issues. I don't know. I think there's issues.
We sometimes have the issue.
Better.
When we do first load up, like Rog will seem really quiet, and we're like, "Rog, you making a cup of tea? Where are you?" No, I'm sat here. But it sounds like you're talking like this. And then it works fine, doesn't it, once we sorted it out. We always have these teething problems before we go live, as some of you may have seen at the beginning of this video.
I do need a new microphone.
Right. Has anybody got in chat, have you got any questions or anything, any topics of discussion or anything like that? Because we've not got really too much else planned for this podcast. We were just going to do a nice casual one anyway, just as a meet-up. We weren't certain we were even going to go live, to be honest, but we decided to. Yesterday, really, was when it was called, I think, Or the day before, maybe.
We discussed it briefly.
Yeah.
About doing it and just having a quick chat to you guys and stuff. But I think there's a few questions is it Rudol's asking about the FOV of the Samsungs not being great? I don't know what the specs are on these XR headsets or anything.
Oh, no. I have no idea. I don't know.
Maybe there is some official. Because, I don't know. I don't know that. I thought if there was some demos of those headsets or something like that, or rumours and leaks and stuff, I don't know.
Yeah. I'll after trying that Pimax, though, it's like, I want something with that, at least that FOV.
It was very nice.
It does make Quest 3 feel very narrow.
Well, as soon as I put my Quest 3 on to try the X Arcade, it was basically I was like, oh, right, okay.
Yeah. And that, again, it's where people put different value in these headsets.
I think we all want larger FOV, though, don't we?
Yeah.
I think the Quest is not bad, but it depends what sort of face you're like. I've got the globular cluster faces, so it kind of makes it even more tighter for me, but I suppose it depends.
I know it does feel better if you use a Halo strap and take the facial interface off. It feels like there's an improvement, but I just don't like using the Quest like that. It doesn't feel supported enough. I like having the faceplate there because, just for stability. I don't know. I really want to see. I wish Valve would just get a move on it.
No, crack it out already. Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely doing something. So, yeah, we'll see with that. John asked, are any of us getting their big screen Beyond 2?
If you want to send me one, John, I'm glad to give it a go. I do. That's another thing where I think PD went over to see...
Excuse me?
In Germany.
Sebastian.
Sorry.
They're
Sorry,
our
Sebastian,
TV
apologies.
headquarters,
He went over there to try a few of the headsets, and I said to him, I think form factor wise, I'd love something like that. You'd be able to work. I mean, the amount of hours we could play if I was into like F1 racing or Elite Dangerous. Just something as big as my glasses on my face, and that's all I've got. Yeah, every day of the week, I'd prefer that probably over even some of the other headsets. What might maybe have some more visual clarity. I know a couple of them. Was it Megan X? And apparently looked a bit better, sharper, clearer than what the big screen Beyond 2 is. But just that form factor, I'd really just want that, to be honest.
Yeah, that is that selling point of that headset, isn't it? That is the form factor, and playing games because it's got the micro OLEDs in there, so Elite Dangerous is going to look really good. it's got that a bit of a compromise on the panel because you've got 2.5K per eye. 75 hertz, I think it is.
Yeah.
And then if you pump it up to 90 hertz, then it drops that resolution down to 1920. But there is people have been saying as well. Like I think VR Flight Sim guy made a video where if you super sample beyond that, you can. We all know super sampling can give you some clarity back and stuff. Yeah. So you can counteract it with that. But yeah, I mean, I'm not going to get one. It's more the fact that you need the base stations. I have got some base stations, but I need some index controllers or something like that. You need some Lighthouse controllers as well if I'm going to use it for everything.
I hate index controllers and I hate base stations because I can hear the whine on them, and it absolutely drove me nuts for the few weeks I had him. Terrible.
I mean, for F1, I saw a guy on YouTube, can't remember his name, apologies, but he was big into F1 and he got one with the F1 steering wheel and that, and he was loving it. So for that type of thing, if I'd got the PC and I got the money, maybe I'd take a punt on it.
Art asking if PD's okay because he hasn't seen a video from him in months. PD's been knocking videos out.
He put a post on yesterday, didn't he, or the day before? He's
actually in Liverpool. For the weekend. I'm not sure what he's doing there, but he's in Liverpool.
Yeah, the V-Racer video out.
Yeah, he's had quite a few videos out this week.
He said because he's over the weekend, I think he's there, isn't he? He said no videos over the weekend.
Yeah.
I think that's it, yeah.
So he's still got videos, dude.
So, yeah.
Is PSVR2 dead after GT's video not even mentioning it as an accessory in their photos?
Oh, Sony, they didn't. Yeah, they did that thing, didn't they? Where it was like they had all the whole range of their products that they've got in terms of gaming. So the PS5, PS5 Pro, and all these other different things.
Didn't have a PSVR
2 on there. So people, I mean that's the thing. I think Sony would prefer it if it never existed at this point. I don't think, before everybody hates on, I think that the headset, there's loads of games and it's not a problem at all. I think if you picked up that headset, it's a good headset, and there is a big library of games on there as well, and you've got some big hitters like Resident Evil if you're into that and you don't mind reprojection. Lee, you loved it, didn't you, on that as well? GT7 on there as well is fantastic. And so there's some good stuff on there, but I just don't think Sony were behind it from the very start, and I think it all comes down from the management at the time. I think there was a crossover period between when it was in R&D, when it was being developed, and the launch of it, and that management change in that meantime is what has consigned it to its fate, and that's why it just didn't have back in.
Most stuff, it's a Quest or a PC port, isn't it? The one thing I've noticed it's getting that I haven't seen mentioned for another headset is that game by Pixel Junk, and it's the one what looks like a point cloud type thing, and you create stuff by shooting.
The trailer looks quite interesting. That does. I don't know.
That's what we spoke about. Isn't it? Yeah, looks like very dreamy.
Dreams of Another or something. I think it's called that.
Something like that.
That does look interesting. And so that's an exclusive, is it? That's not on. Something like that. It's just, I think the problem is when we look at this, when we were talking about it, I think we can go back to even when we were talking about it on the podcast before it came out and it was announced, the excitement just in content creators anyway. Oh, finally, Sony are getting back into VR. We're going to get all these AAA games and all of these things. Sony are going to have all this influence to lean on developers to push VR, get some really good high quality VR games out there. And I think the truth is we've not seen that as much as we needed to in order to make it feel like a success. And I don't think we're going to see a PSVR 3.
I've said it before. I don't think we will.
I think we spoke about. I think I said it to Roger a week after they released PSVR 2.
Yeah.
It seems very weird that they don't really promote it, and then all us guys, well, not us personally, but people having a go and saying, why aren't you promoting it and stuff? And then all of a sudden they'll have like a little burst where they'll show certain games coming out, and then you think, oh, great, this is fantastic. And then there's nothing, and then it's like half in between. Are they into it? Are they not into it? What are they doing?
I think that they're doing the minimum they possibly can.
Yeah.
Because they've released a product that they've got to be seen to support it in some way. Because otherwise I think, because what we're getting blog posts. That's what we're getting, blog posts of like 4 new games and things like that. Okay, and it's not their games. maybe they've funded some games behind the scenes, but there's this other thing as well where people say we don't know what Sony are funding behind the scenes with all these indie developers. So Song in the Smoke, we know they push some money to Song in the Smoke and that stuff, but we don't know really what they're doing behind the scenes, and are they doing anything? There's no proof. There's no proof really that they even push money towards Capcom to get Resident Evil, to the best of my knowledge. We assume they did, because why the hell would Capcom do it if they weren't being paid? Because they know they're not going to get a lot of money from it. And that in itself is really pointing to, the PSVR 2 is struggling. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, the Res 4 that I played, I love what I played, even though it was in reprojection. There's a video on my channel somewhere if you want to have a look. And I thought that was great, yeah. I mean, whether they're going to bring the new one out in VR, this is the thing. When Res 9 comes out, I'm hearing like hybrid things, or I'm hearing, yes, it's definitely coming out in VR, and then I'm hearing, no, it's definitely not coming out in VR. So we'd have to say, I personally don't think it will do, but
I don't, it's a tough one. It's possible, but I think I'm with you overall, but I think it's definitely possible, because we don't know.
They know how to do it.
Yeah.
This is the thing.
The engine's set up to do it as well.
yeah, if it's a case of copy and paste, and then we can just get on with that.
It would be good. I would love it for them to do that though, because that would give it another boost at least.
It's a shame because I just want a competitor I mean, I know we're like Deckard, things like that, but just to keep meta in its arse, really.
Yeah.
PC, VR wise as well, and things just.
I don't think it's dead, but it's only going to be relevant as long as third parties keep supporting it.
It's pipe and slippers, looking out the window. An old folks' home at minute, and I think that
sounds like me.
Yeah.
Steve's comment just made me chuckle, by the way.
Steve's comment.
The roundtable one. Hi guys, joined in. Haven't heard any of the conversation. Quite a nice roundtable.
Yes.
Except there's no roundtable.
Roundtable microphone.
Steve, if you were over here at this time with work, then you could have joined us, isn't it? That would have been good. Bit of a coincidence, but yeah, that would have been good.
I've seen people saying they're not getting notifications of PD's videos. I wonder if it's something to do with him being hacked. Because he did start another channel, but then when he got his original one back, he's gone back to there. So maybe it's a notification thing not showing up. But he's been doing videos quite a while now. So if you're not getting any notifications, I'd check YouTube on that, or try subscribing and unsubscribing to his original channel. Maybe that might help you there. Because he's been doing loads of UEVR stuff just recently.
Yeah, he's been. What was he doing? He did like a series of. I don't know.
I can't remember what it was, but I told him to. I says, play Terminator already, please, so I can just see that.
He's trying to guilt trip us now.
And then he played Terminator and had like loads of views, so thanks, Speedy, you're welcome.
Steve.
Oh, what's he put now?
Hey, none of my friends in real life like VR, I'm lonely.
That's it, you got to get on a plane, Steve.
To be fair, we're not keen on VR either, to be honest.
Joking. Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? It's a bit up and down with different things that are happening at the minute. What games are you excited about of what's coming up? I mean,
see what I've been playing just recently though, very quickly. We played Into Black, didn't we, on the channel a while back when it was in early access beta.
Yeah, and we got stuck opening chests at the time.
Yeah, that's still a pain in the arse, by the way. But I asked Roger how to do that. I picked that up. So it was on sale for like $6.99, so I picked it up. That runs so nice in the Quest 3 headset. It looks really nice, runs perfect. They've got little tutorial bits on it. This is what I said to Roger. The thing what annoyed me on it is got tutorial how to use your laser gun, how to use your mining pickaxe. Brilliant. You get to a chest and it's got a circle what's pulsating back and forth like that, and then it goes green if you move your controller to it, and then it just kept blocking. I was like, oh, what do I need to do? Roger says you got to pull back on it and it opens the chest. Oh, thanks for the little snippet there on the tutorial telling me that. That would have been nice. But yeah, I've been playing a bit of that just recently. Yeah. Enjoying that.
I'm just trying to remember.
Walkabout mini golf.
I don't know if it's still on.
Enjoying that quite a lot.
Nice little bundle from a Wired VR bundle. That had a big VR in it, which is like being out all of a couple of months on PC.
Yeah.
It had that. It had the Fly Dragon game.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, you know the one. I don't know if it's still on or not.
The Humble Bundle thing.
Yeah, I don't know if it was Humble or there was another bundle as well. There's been a couple of good bundles.
You put it on the Discord, didn't you? I think. Did you put it on?
Yeah.
Isn't Valve as guilty as Sony for not releasing first party game? Well, yeah, you could have the argument with that.
Yeah, I've had we spoke about it.
Yeah.
My all right. Just to reiterate my take on this, because I feel like I was a bit misunderstood when I spoke about this last time. You're right. I think Valve do owe. I think the difference is the equivalent would be hey, like Sony, for example, so they release a PS4 or PS5, and then they just say, okay, we're opening our store now to allow VR games on there. You can connect a VR headset if you've got one and play VR games on the PS5. That's effectively what Valve did with Steam. They have a store, they allow VR games on there, and they even created Steam VR, a way to connect VR headsets to their store in order to play these games. Yeah. It's different to Sony because they have a closed platform and they have one peripheral that they lock to that platform. The fact is, if you buy that VR headset, you're locked to their store, they have more of a duty in order to create content for that peripheral, in my opinion, anyway. Valve are an open store which just allow VR headsets to connect to it.
Yeah.
Therefore, and they just happened then to create a VR headset for their store that already existed independent of their headset anyway. So I think it's a different case. I'm not saying that Valve don't have any duty to make VR games. I think they do. I think they should make a lot more VR games than they do. But I think Sony have more of a duty to create their closed platform with one peripheral that they're selling. So I think that's all it comes down to from my point of view. And I heard there was somebody on a comment that was saying, I can't remember what, but they were talking about one of the most ridiculous things that I've heard recently is that Sony have more duty because they don't allow all the VR headsets on their platform. And I'm not saying that. That's not what I'm saying. It's a different set of circumstances that led up to that release, and that's why I think. Yeah. But I could be wrong. People disagree with me.
Yeah. Just going back to that bundle, by the way, Wired VR bundle. It's on Fanatical. It's Dig VR, Falconeer.
That's it.
Oh, that's a good game. Yeah.
Arcade Paradise VR, The Last Worker, and Grip. £5.
Yeah.
Absolute steal. Even if you've got a couple of those games already. Yeah. I mean, pick it up for the games you've not got and give the others away. £5.
Yeah.
The next 3 days that's on Fanatical.
I think Jeremy reported it was the Upload VR Humble Bundle, wasn't it? I think that's where I saw it.
That's the one.
That looked pretty decent. It's like £13 maybe to get all the games on it. What I got, I think Vertigo 2 maybe, and
Vertigo 2.
Yeah, so it's worth it just picking it up for that really. But we've not tried Vertigo 2. I think I'm still stuck on the lava monster.
I've not played it since the lava monster.
That's the bit that's I got stuck on.
Yeah, I need to get back into that because I'm sure I can do it. I've been so close. I'm just not very good at that game. I'm really not.
I was like, really having a nice chill play. Yeah, it's a bit challenging. Get to the lava monster.
Oh, God, no chance. That's like, it's so embarrassing that is because it's like the first boss.
Yeah.
And I just can't. No, I had so many attempts.
It just hammers me every single time, no matter where I'm moving to and what I'm throwing to it. And I think I watched 99 VR like destroy it within like 2 minutes, and I'm like, I just need to get my game on. That's what I need to do.
The other thing John mentioned as well when talking about the Valve was those two additional VR games that they were supposedly making alongside Alex, which we spoke about before as well. Not heard anything about them, have we, as well? That's the other thing.
I don't think I've heard them mention VR at all since the Index got released.
No, well, it was the Half-Life Alyx, and that was it. Because the Index got released first, then it was Half-Life Alyx that they brought out 6 months after or something like that. And then, that was it, really. I mean, they don't, I mean, everything that we've heard from them is really just around what Brad has found.
It just leaks.
They're still working on it. We know they're definitely working on it.
Brad published out recently?
No, I've not seen him do anything.
Not videos. I've seen. He is still on Twitter. I've seen him putting a couple of things on Twitter. Yeah.
But
it's that baby life. It's taking
its
door, Brad. Welcome to the club.
Okay, I think we could probably. Shall we wrap it up there? We knew it was going to be a little bit of a shorter one anyway, just a bit of a relax. We didn't get on any games that you're interested in though that are coming up.
I don't know what's supposed to be coming up. I mean, I'm not going to get into a rant about Meta.
No, I'm just going to mention a flat game which I mentioned last time because I did briefly talk to Steve about this, and he's put it in one of his. He says it's one of his maybe his all-time favourite 5 games, and I'm finding it very difficult to disagree with that. And that's Clair Obscure Expedition 33 is one of the best video games I have ever played, and I'd go as far to say it might be better than Final Fantasy VII.
You heard it here.
Which is, I'll get excommunicated from the Final Fantasy community for saying that. I think It is that good. It is that good.
Well, I'm excited for Thief VR. So
There you go.
that's pretty much
Stick
it.
that PC gamer.
Yeah, I think. Well, there is some other stuff coming out, but that weird one on the PSVR 2, the Dreams of Another, whatever it's called. That looks interesting.
I thought that already.
Did any of us
Really
play
interesting.
Midnight Walk as well?
No.
No.
See, that's another one I'm considering. I'm thinking about
I've heard
that.
performance was an issue, whether they've improved it since release.
On PlayStation, yeah. I'd pick it up on PC, I think, if I was going to get it. I've heard mixed things on PlayStation because it had low resolution initially, and then they increased the resolution, then it started to get performance issues. Which
Who would have thought? Do you know?
Oh yeah, Steve played. Obviously, he played Claire Obscura in UEVR, so VR adjacent.
There we go. Yeah. Okay. Shall we leave it there?
Yeah, I'm not going to rant about Meta this time. Yeah. Although I can't update to the latest update. I've got glitching out. Has anybody on V78? I think it's 1078. Managed to update that okay? Because mine just keeps getting stuck in a boot loop, and when I load it back up, it just goes back to 1057 or wherever it is. So I can't update. I think it's the update like Gary's got for the. Is it the new UI navigator? Yeah. Half see-through type thing. And that's a pain in the arse, and obviously Horizons. Oh, did you notice? If you noticed this as well, if you've got the app, there's like a little on your avatar now when you go on it. There's like a little triangle in the corner of it, like an orange triangle type thing, and it's quest points and rewards. I think. Have you seen that, Rog?
No.
Right, if you click on that, and if anyone else is aware, you get various rewards for doing things. I got 250 points, I think, just for clicking on it. But it's like if you interact with various things in Horizon Worlds, then you'll get points where you can buy avatar clothes like jackets and trousers and things like that, which is absolutely pointless to me because I don't care about Horizon Worlds. If they're offering, I think the next step for them to do now to try and get anybody into that is to offer us money, Meta. So offer me money and I'll play it. But no, I think that's the depth what they go into at the moment.
It's just to incentivize you to go into it.
Yeah. Just an incentive to get you in. But like Roger says, I'm surprised they didn't do this earlier to get the kids in to get different clothes and stuff. I mean, it doesn't appeal to me.
Yeah, do all these activities to get points.
Yeah, that popped on my app yesterday that I noticed. So if you've not noticed that, go have a look and have a giggle. And that's about it. But maybe we'll try Horizon Worlds at some point again. I think we're going about once a year, don't we, Rog?
Yeah.
And then we'll say, we'll leave it. And moan about it for the rest of the year. I just don't like the fact it's baked in. It's just bloatware to me.
It's annoying whenever you first go into the quest now. It
pops up on the left. You've got a Horizon feed. You've got it on your apps. I know you can click the next one down, I think, in your app, so it doesn't show Horizon stuff, but it's still something that you have to do, and I just don't want it.
Not giving up on it, are they?
Not giving up on it.
Goblin Co-op Lethal Company delivery game? Don't know.
Never heard of it.
Is this the one that Beardo, Benjo and GT played the other day?
No idea.
I've not watched the video. Can you avoid the public in Horizon Worlds? You can mute them. You can go into private instances of your own games, can't you? I think you can.
Some stuff you can go into a private instance, some stuff you can't. So
yeah, the constant things are. I mean, my daughter went to watch. Is it Sabrina Carpenter? I'm not down with the kids, I'm afraid, but I think she
that was on there. That was
headset.
advertised really heavily.
There was a fishing mini game at one point.
We went in the fishing mini game.
Bad, so ish.
I think they've got to be able to do some good stuff in there now. They've got like the PC editor and stuff. You might get some decent stuff.
Yeah,
in there.
maybe.
I don't know.
Look, maybe I'll turn a new leaf and see how great it is one day. I don't know.
Right,
or maybe not.
I'm going to call it then. So thank you very much for watching episode 48 of Recentered. We'll be back. I don't know if or how.
Yeah, this is the summer break video.
Yeah,
I don't know if we'll have a summer break from the break video.
It might be a couple of months.
When it cools down a minute.
Yeah.
But thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah. Cheers, everyone.
Take care.